People deluded, I'm back again as usual. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. Appreciative to my long-term supporters. If you're new here, you know what to do, which is hit the subscribe button. Make sure you're hitting the like button and turning on your notification bells while you're here. Now, again, before we get into everything, get the creative juices flowing and make sure you're commenting. Now, allegedly, the Athletic have done a piece and spoken about just why Arsenal haven't currently signed anybody. We're still linked with Pedro Neto and Neto Williams, as well as Moreno, who ironically plays for Spain as well as Real Sociedad. The Osimhen and Gyökeres rumours won't go away. It's kind of the same individuals. But I'm sure a lot of us would like to know why Arsenal haven't signed anyone at this moment in time. Now, let's see exactly why, people. Now, the Athletic have done a piece where they've spoken about all clubs' transfer business. Again, Leeds are there, Chelsea's there. Again, things that aren't really relevant to us, people. Big up any Premier League team trying to buy Ronnie Edwards of Peterborough. I think he's a decent defender. He plays for England at youth level. He did. Away from that, though, what has happened this week? As we all know, Arsenal have confirmed that the goalkeeper Karl Heinz has signed a new contract with the club. In my opinion, needs to go out on loan. Koza Jubri apparently has turned down a contract and he's going to depart. Can't really blame him. You need to take your career into your own hands and do what you can to just simply make it as a professional footballer in the professional game. Now, getting into what probably we're all here for. Why Arsenal are moving more slowly than last summer. Partly because Arsenal are not under pressure to do deals before Sunday's PSR deadline. Given their significant expenditure last summer in accounting terms, it may suit Arsenal for their transfers to take place from July onwards. So balance book settings, people. For me as an ignorant fan, as much as I want signings in today, right now, we're just approaching July. Again, if we get to September now, the 1st or the 2nd or whenever the window closes and we ain't done what needs to be done, then there's issues. One thing I will say with the club, the last 2 years, the majority of the signings have been brought in early. So I do think we will definitely be speaking about some new players at our football club. Right now, we just have to enjoy the rumours, people, and the Euros. Big up David Raya, who kept a clean sheet for Spain. They made 10 changes against Albania. And to be honest, Spain have probably been the most impressive country. But keeping up the theme with specifically this article, similarly, the framework for the deal to sign David Raya from Brentford permanently is agreed, but both clubs agree it's more beneficial for the deal to proceed once the Euro 2024 is over. So again, is that because it goes into the accounting period for the next term? Is it just to allow David Raya to just focus on that? Is it a thing where, Brentford and us, we've come to an agreement, we part that off, we'll dot I's and cross T's when the time's right, and we can focus on other things? I'm not too sure, but we probably need 2 keepers or 3 as a minimum. We're going to need someone to replace Ramsdale if he doesn't depart, and we probably need somebody that's going to be our third choice, because in my opinion, from a selfish point of view, you might as well hang on to the young Karl Heinz who signed the new deal. But for him, you need to be exposed to first team football. Respectfully to Estonia, because obviously it kind of makes sense. But how many players do you see with more caps for their country than actually their football club? So yeah, that's that with David Raya. What position/players are they looking at? We've heard this all before. Central midfield is a major focus for Arsenal in this window. Amen to that. The Athletic has reported on Arsenal's interest in deep-lying midfielders Martin Zubimendi and João Neves, but the club are also open to adding a number 8 if they can identify a suitable player. So that seems we're quite flexible in that regards. If we can find a 6 to continue with this Declan Rice experiment in the 8, fair enough. If you can find an 8 and Declan Rice reverts to the 6, and maybe they're multifunctional midfielders that can both be 6s and both be 8s, who knows? We've been linked with Zubimendi and actually his teammate Moreno. Zubimendi, I don't know if he actually is going to leave at this moment. João Neves has a release clause of 120 million euros, so again, big money. If you want to sign him, music to my ears, because obviously I can't say a striker or a wide man are not of equal importance or great importance for Arsenal, but we're gonna, while football is won and lost in the defensive and attacking third, is played in the middle of the park, especially with all inverted fullbacks and false nines dropping into midfield. We need to sort out the midfield. You've got Declan Rice, you've got Odegaard, you need that long-term partner to complete that trio. Jorginho, quality player, but age isn't on his side, and I do think last season, we respectfully to Jorginho, we probably had to rely on him a lot more than we wanted to. I must admit, Jorginho's looking quite poor in the Euros. Thomas Partey, a quality player in terms of ability, but if you can't stay fit, then it doesn't really matter. Fabio Vieira and Emil Smith-Rowe, I don't see them being the long-term 8 position, eight players for Mikel Arteta beyond squad depth. So who knows, people? The market for this position, however, is not with options, word I've never seen before. Zubimendi's reputation continued to rise last season with Real Sociedad's play revolving around the 25-year-old. You can see the passing and you can see why Arsenal would potentially be interested in him. Interestingly, you can see Moreno is making more further runs than Zubimendi. But you know what? I'm doing a piece on Moreno. This graphic could be utilized. Always working for you lot. Make sure your notification bells are on and check out the other content. Now, nothing new there apart from why we haven't signed anyone. We know central midfield is off focus. We keep hearing left back, left back, left back, left back. So there has to be something. Crucially, though, it does say Arsenal would like to add a specialist left back, but any such deal would most likely require one of their existing options to depart. Can you define Kieran Tierney as an existing option? I mean, on paper, yes, but last season we did without him, so he's almost irrelevant. Zinchenko's got 2 years left on his deal, and his future is subject to speculation. Interest from clubs abroad for, while he's a centre-back, Kirill does play left-back on occasion. He's still linked with clubs abroad. I don't think Arsenal will move Kirill on unless he makes clear I want to leave or there's an offer we can't turn down. Obviously, Timber's just signed for the club, and you'd imagine he could be number one and probably is. Tomiyasu's just signed a new deal. Having missed out on Benjamin Sesko, don't remind me. Arsenal are open to alternative additions in their front line, which is promising. Neto Williams and Pedro Neto are of long-term interest, but there are obstacles for both deals. In Neto's case, his injury history is a major concern. Williams has professed his loyalty to Athletic Bilbao and would be expensive. His 58 million euros in brackets 48 million pounds or $62 million release clause would need to be paid in one go. Now, again, I'm no finance man, but I do think many people, just when they see transfer fees, they think that's all paid in one go. There's dividends, so the true cost is, how much them payments are spread out and also taking in the guy's wages for how long he'll be here. And then again, a bit like what we've seen with Sesko, a bit like what we've seen with Thomas Partey, we're not going to activate his release clause, in my opinion, unless he's made it abundantly clear that he's receptive to signing for Arsenal Football Club. And dare I say, personal terms agreed. The 21-year-old stock is rising. He's just signed a new deal at Bilbao. Every game he plays for Spain, he's impressing and doing well. He's linked with a bunch of football clubs, so we'll have to see. It would need to be paid in one go. As it says here, the 21-year-old recently signed a new contract with Athletic and earns a good salary, which would need to be improved upon. Who would you lot prefer out of Neto Williams and Pedro Neto? Because, I do think when you think of injuries, obviously I'm going to go towards Neto Williams. I'm cool with both. I like Pedro Neto. But I guess Neto Williams doesn't have those injury concerns and he's, a couple of years younger. So there's a bit more longevity. I'm more going to lean towards that side. But to be fair, Pedro Neto is Premier League proven. And if it wasn't for injuries, he probably wouldn't be at Wolves. He'd be held in high regards. And I actually feel based on last season, how it started without the 2 hamstring knocks, which is scary if you want to sign him for Arsenal. He could have been in with a shout of PFA or Premier League Team of the Year. So we haven't learned anything potentially new. We'd all love a wide man or a striker or, one of the two or both. We know we need to address central midfield. We've consistently heard links with left back. Obviously, the club are receptive to potential departures. Arsenal accept they most likely need to sign at least one goalkeeper in addition to Raya. Which players could be leaving? Nothing new here. Aaron Ramsdale, Reece Nelson, Eddie Nketiah are all potential departures. Ramsdale is the writing's been on the wall. Nelson, apparently the Athletic also said that he's informed Arsenal he wants to assess his options, and you see rumours all the way from 10 to 30 odd million quid, and the same goes for Eddie Nketiah. I mean, if you could get 30 million for Reece Nelson, 30 odd with additional sell-on clauses for Reece Nelson and Eddie Nketiah, that's 60 million. Ramsdale, I think 40, again, it's not as easy as this and it's not FIFA, but that's 100 million before you talk about the others. Kieran Tierney was probably, it's a harsh one because I feel I'm doing him a disservice, but I think that would have been a hard sell and it's been made harder with injuries, and we're going to have to, just bite the bullet, really and truly. It says the injury sustained by Kieran Tierney on international duty with Scotland is a substantial blow to Arsenal's hopes of recouping a significant transfer fee for the left back, and obviously for Tierney to leave and go somewhere where he could play. Respectfully to Chelsea, it's irrelevant what's going on there. Once again, Karl-Heinz signed a new deal, people. We're open to both Neto Williams and Pedro Neto. We would like a specialist left back. Apparently, the framework to get David Raya to the club on a permanent basis is essentially done. Keeping up the theme with strikers, we've been linked with Guirassy. These links won't go away. I think there might be a level of interest or a scout watching, but I don't know because I don't work for Edu or Mikel Arteta or Arsenal, but I personally think Arsenal going to sign Garassi is wide up. Garassi is wide off the mark. You know, in theory, you could be a good squad player, but we've kind of moved away from just signing players for the sake of it. Nonetheless, Garassi has decided to leave Stuttgart and has informed the club of his decision. Dortmund have made it clear to him that he is their desired striker this summer, but Dortmund fear Arsenal the most at this stage. So what do you lot make of that, folks? Our pre-season fixtures have been announced. On the 28th of July, we'll be playing Manchester United in America. We'll be doing a watch-along for that. On Thursday, the 1st of August, we'll be playing Liverpool. On the 7th of August in England, we'll be playing Leverkusen. So it's a return for Granit Xhaka. And on the 11th of August, we welcome back Lacazette people as we play Lyon. So, and there are probably a bunch of other fixtures in and around. So busy period, man. It's almost like the Premier League didn't go anywhere. Osimhen rumours won't go away. Napoli are apparently willing now to evaluate any offers of 100 million euros for Osimhen, a figure well below his current release clause. There are no concrete offers on the table, but Osimhen dreams of playing in the Premier League. Mikel Arteta wants to sign Mikel Moreno no matter what this summer and has already called the player to seduce the big plans he has for him. Moreno is seduced by a potential move, while Real Sociedad feel all roads lead to a transfer of around 25 million euros. Now, he is contracted for another year, people, so he could be someone that needs to depart Sociedad. Would you lot take him? Do you believe in him? Going back to Neto Williams, apparently sources with a close understanding of Neto Williams' situation have informed courtside that there's a long list of suitors pursuing the player this summer, though Arsenal and Chelsea are the ones advancing for the moment, with Arsenal ready to pay his 58 million release clause. So conflicting based on what the Athletic and courtside have said there, people. Santiago Jimenez, who was once linked with Arsenal, could actually be moving to North London. Apparently, he's very close to joining Tottenham Hotspur. He's received 2 offers from Atletico Madrid and Spurs. I mean, Spurs probably give you a lot more money, and there is the prospect of living in London. And I do like Postecoglou, but Atletico Madrid, Spurs, I know where I'd rather go. Ask Kieran Trippier. He was linked with Real Madrid, Chelsea, and Arsenal. Being linked is very different to actually signing people. Once again, we're in talks for Moreno, or Mikel Arteta has personally contacted him in relation to Gyökeres. Arsenal transfer truth clear as key step taken towards blockbuster deal. Well, let's go to the full of this. Arsenal are still in the mix for Gyökeres this summer, but are nowhere near completing a deal for the striker. Contrary to reports from Portugal, Fabrizio Romano says that suggestions of a deal being close are not true, and he added that there are no talks have taken place since April or May. He said Arsenal, also informed about the conditions of the 100 million euros in brackets 85 million pound release clause, but also the cost of the deal in terms of salary and all the rest. They have still not decided what they really want to do in that position or who is the priority target. I disagree with that slightly. I think Arsenal and Mikel Arteta are clear in what they want to do. They want to take their time to assess their options. So at the moment with Gyökeres, it's not something imminent or close, but it's an option. I don't think Arsenal will go for crazy money for Gyökeres, so it has to maybe be a different structure of a deal, or Arsenal could look at different opportunities. So there you have it, people. I mean, there must be an admiration for Gyökeres, but again, the deal has to make sense. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on everything we've discussed. If there's any emerging news or rumors and whatnot, you know, I'll get videos out for you lot. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, thank you lot for listening. Stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.